data quality. It just doesn't exist. It's an aspiration, but you'll never get there. I think it starts there. Realize that you'll never get there. It's never going to be perfect, right? Understand where your data lacks, understand how you can improve in some selected areas, and work your way backwards from what you want to do with it. Do you have a use case that you actually want to achieve with the data? Work your way back from there. What does the data have to provide you with so you can actually solve that use case?
You need to rethink about your data foundations. Define which are your key assets and make data as relevant as any other achievement on the people performance agenda. So if there's no component of data, you're just a recipient and you're not owning the outcome.
I think data is complicated. Some of the new technologies are going to allow us to take what is either dirty data or pre-existing poor data that's unstructured and very quickly, leverage AI, machine learning, and different tools to help clean up that data.
I think for us it's really that element of procurement being an interface function. There's millions of data points that come together in procurement when you make a decision, and I think getting all those right, but then also not getting distracted by the sheer number of it. And I think that's probably the single biggest challenge in business and data.
I think the biggest obstacle is probably ourselves. Are we truly experimenting or adopting the solutions enough, or are we being skeptical? So I think the first thing that we need to do is we need to experiment much more. We also need to accept that there's going to be failure. Things might not work.
I don't think that we should sacrifice our critical thought. If you're going to be leaning on a tool like Copilot or ChatGPT, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to leave your brain at home. You can actually use your brain to say, well, does that make sense? And then poke a little further. But it certainly will give you a starter for 10 in a way that, starting with a blank piece of paper wouldn't have.
The reason why I still love being in procurement is that it evolves all the time. It changes all the time and it's getting more and more relevant. It's again an exciting time. And I think it still will be in 5 years and in 10 years.
I think it's a very exciting time. I think coming out of COVID, we earned a lot of credibility as a procurement function, which should have enabled procurement organizations to have even more impact. I think there's many other things that need to be done where you start to get time that you gain by further automation.
So technology for me has always been really, really interesting. And if you look at DPW behind me, we've got 1,400 attendees, excluding exhibitors. We'd had the same conference 10 years ago, and I was going to those conferences 10 years ago. We'd barely have filled a room of 100 people. So I think there's a sense now that data, analytics, digital actually have an impact upon your business. And it's an unescapable, unavoidable impact upon your business.